We cannot allow this. Social Security needs to be held accountable, as Social Security recipients are losing everything due to overpayment demands. And I was shocked to hear how many of my viewers are saying, yes, this is happening to me right now. Over the past couple of weeks, we're seeing news articles coming out left and right, and it is incredible how many articles are coming out on this. Take a look. Hundreds of thousands of families are facing unexpected bills from the government, and yes, it's the Social Security Administration. Like a punch in the face, Oregon man now owes $99,000 in Social Security overpayments. Social Security overpaid North Texas woman by $41,000, and now they are demanding the money back. They're saying this is not even their fault. This is the Social Security Administration's fault, and they're demanding the money back. Social Security won't forgive Arlington man's decade-old overpayment, and he is told Uncle Sam will get his money. Arlington man told by Social Security Administration to pay back money paid to his mother back in 1978. And this is not okay. There's people depending on this money paid into the system. It's not even their fault they were overpaid, and now the Social Security Administration is demanding they pay it back. Well, if you think that this is not right, you are not alone. Take a look at this. Lawmakers call for a hearing on the Social Security Administration overpayments. Hold their feet to the fire. Congress demanding answers on the Social Security Administration overpayment bills. Social Security overpayment draws scrutiny and outrage from members of Congress. And yes, I personally think that this is not okay. You cannot tell people to pay you back something when it was your fault. They depend on this, and it's not like they have a whole lot of savings. And to the head commissioner of the Social Security Administration, Dr. Kilolo Kijakazi, you need to do something about this. You need to make a statement making this right, or you need to resign. But you need to do something. This is not okay. And if you can't do that, then you should step aside. President Joe Biden has already said that he has Martin O'Malley lined up to take over the Social Security Administration, but something needs to be done for the American people. It's disgusting when people are on disability, SSI, retirement that they've paid into their entire lives. This is not an entitlement program. This is something to help out those that are in need. They're on fixed income that isn't even enough to keep up with the cost of living nowadays with the way that inflation is. And now the administration, the Social Security Administration, has the nerve to request back payments of tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars when people are hurting. Head Commissioner of the Social Security Administration, what are you going to do about it? Now, if you receive one of these letters in the mail for one of these outrageous amounts that's not even your fault, you need to appeal it right away. And in many cases, they're saying that you're able to fight this, but there have been some cases that have taken place where they've owed literally tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. People have had to sell their homes and lose everything because of mistakes made by the Social Security Administration. Well, Congress is saying that they have had enough. I'm going to share with you some of the latest that has just been coming out on this, as this has been coming to light, as I've shared with you over the past couple of weeks, that we're discovering that this is happening to millions of people around the nation that are being harassed by the Social Security Administration, and now they're saying it's time that they be held accountable and we hold their feet to the fire. Now, I'm going to get you caught up on the latest on this. The latest articles coming out. And if you appreciate the updates on this, do me a quick favor. Smash the like button. Hit subscribe to stay up to date. I'll keep you up to speed on everything going on, so that way you know what's taking place. If you get hit with one of these letters, you know you're not alone. So let's go ahead and dive right in and get you caught up on the latest.
To anyone who receives Social Security benefits, some recipients are receiving letters from the government demanding they give money back from overpayments, even if it wasn't their fault.
Link in the description below to this article that just came out today that says Social Security overpayments draw scrutiny and outrage from members of Congress. Like I said, this coming out today, and you can see Senator Sherrod Brown, Representative Mike Carey, Maggie Hassan, Rick Scott, and Representative John Larson, the author of the 2100 Act. Several members of Congress are calling on the Social Security Administration to answer for issuing billions of dollars of payments it says beneficiaries weren't entitled to receive, and then demanding the money back. Many of the recipients are elderly, they're poor and disabled, and have already spent the money. They have little or no way of repaying it, and these are people depending on these payments. And now the Social Security Administration has said, we messed up, now pay us back. The government's got to fix this, said Senator Sherrod Brown, who chairs the Senate panel that oversees Social Security. It's a management problem, and people there should be held accountable, Brown added. Representative Mike Carey of Ohio, the number 2 Republican on the House panel that oversees Social Security, called for a congressional hearing on the subject. We need to have a hearing. The general sense from members is We do have a problem. We've got to address it. We have got to fix this. Now, Senator Rick Scott, a member of the Committee on Aging, questioned how the volume of overpayments was allowed to grow to more than $20 billion. Is somebody going to be held accountable at a federal level for, messing this up? And this is a pretty big mess up. Those lawmakers and others commented in the wake of an investigation by KFF Health News and Cox Media Group that found many of the nation's poorest and most vulnerable, including people receiving disability benefits, have been called on to repay the government's sums that can reach tens of thousands of dollars or more. The Social Security Administration recovered $4.7 billion in overpayments during the 2022 fiscal year, but ended that year with a $21.6 billion of overpayments still uncollected, according to a November 2022 report by the Social Security Administration's Inspector General. In many cases, the overpayments were the result of errors by the government rather than the person receiving the money, the agent stated. So the agency admits it was their fault, not the recipient's faults. For example, in a disclosure covering some of the programs involved, old age survivors, disability insurance, collectively known as the OASDI, the agency reported issuing about $2 billion of overpayments in the 2022 fiscal year, of which about $1.5 billion was within the agency's control. So about 75% of this, they're confessing, was their fault. The beneficiary or the third party provided the information that we requested, but we failed to use the data information to validate accuracy prior to making the payment, the agency reported. The Social Security Administration spokesperson Nicole Tigman declined to comment for this article or to arrange an interview with the agency's acting commissioner, Kilolo Kijikazi. And this is not okay. You need to step up, make a statement, or resign. Step up to the plate as the commissioner and the head of the Social Security Administration. Now, for some benefits, recipients are required to keep the Social Security Administration updated about changes in their circumstances. For instance, whether others are giving them food or a place to stay. Beneficiaries can lose certain benefits if they earn or save too much. For individuals on the Supplemental Security Income Program, or SSI, and we just covered this recently, which supports people with little or no income or other financial resources who are disabled, blind, or at least age 65, having more than $2,000 in the bank is generally disqualifying. So in other words, in order for people to receive SSI, you can't have more than $2,000 in the bank, and yet the Social Security Administration is saying, oops, we've overpaid you. We want you to pay us back tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, knowing that in order for them to even qualify for these benefits, they have to have less than $2,000 in their bank account. How does that make any sense? Now, I did share with you a new piece of legislation that is looking to change that, and it would be one of the biggest changes to SSI and allow people to save money and to have some extra savings in case things come up, because $2,000, in some cases, that's not even enough to help out a car issue. Now, to get the latest on that, be sure to check out this video right here next as I cover the details of that legislation that was released to provide a huge change in SSI. And again, if you think this is ridiculous, you are not alone. Lawmakers are now calling for a change on this, as this has been coming to light here in the past couple weeks. Now, in September, in a news release, Representative Mark Molinaro said that the Social Security Administration should fix its systems and immediately stop seeking back these overpayments. The Social Security Administration screwed up, and now they're demanding that seniors pay for the administration's mistakes. Demanding repayment is absolutely unfair to the Americans who unknowingly received overpayments from the Social Security Administration, and this needs to be addressed immediately, he wrote in a letter to the agency's acting commissioner. In an interview on the 27th, Brown, the chairman of the Senate Subcommittee on Social Security, said that he had taken action in the wake of the CMG KFF Health News investigation. We've let the federal agency know that we expect them to stop and not penalize those people. They may have been overpaid over the years, but it's not like they have a savings account now of those overpayment dollars that they can simply pay back. Brown said that he wants to push the agency to do the right thing. There's a lot of ways to hold their feet to the fire, he said. As I mentioned, many of the members of my channel have said that they've received these letters. If you receive these, be sure to file an appeal right away, and I will keep you up to date as more information rolls out on this, because this is not okay. We're hearing that this is happening in mass to Social Security recipients, to 70 million people that receive this. And also, as I mentioned, there is legislation to reform SSI and the way that it's set up. Now, to get the latest on that, that, be sure to check out this video right here. And also, we're facing a government shutdown, which could delay the announcement of the cost of living adjustment or the COLA increase for 2024. And to get the latest on that, check out this video right here. But with that being said, you guys, thank you so much for joining me. I'll be sure to keep you up to date, and I'll catch you in the next video. Take care. God bless. This is Steve.